Luke, it's nice to see you. How do you feel? And can you just give us an update of what you went through, if anything, after testing positive?
Yeah, I feel good. Obviously, sick for maybe 3-4 days in there, and just general, I guess, flu or cold symptoms that I guess you'd have in the wintertime. Just some body aches and throat, but it was I guess a flu like or a cold that people generally get in the wintertime, and other than that, I recovered fairly quickly, and yeah, obviously, being off the ice for just over a week, obviously, is the challenging part to kind of get back here. But luckily, we got a bit of a pause here, and time to work through it.
Not to downplay what's going on in the world right now, but looking what the NFL is doing, they're going to continue playing games. I know the Calgary Flames, with what they've gone through, no positive tests today. The players, what they went through, basically sounds like what you went through. Are you looking at this differently now than perhaps a year ago or 18 months ago when the pandemic first hit?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everyone's probably looking at it just because there's more, or differently, just because there's more information available. I think, when it first happened, there was no information at all, no studies, no one kind of knew how to treat it, or, there was no vaccines available, and no one knew kind of how severe it was, and, sort of who it hit, and how severe it could be, depending on, different sort of underlying health conditions or age or different things like that. So obviously there's more, have gone into it now, and a lot of science and research has gone on pause for other things and just totally focused on, COVID in the past year and a half, 2 years. And there's a lot of smart people out there. And like I said, you are able to look at it somewhat differently, just because, like I said, there's people have spent so much time focusing on this who are smarter than us doing it. So we trust them. And obviously, there's, like I said, people are more comfortable probably being around it a little bit.
Next up, we have Thomas Drance, The Athletic.
Luke, can you take us through your experience testing out of the protocol, just so that we have an understanding of the timeline and exactly how it worked?
Yeah. So I was positive on, what was it? I guess it would have been last Sunday. We got our results back sort of after that game versus Carolina, and I guess you could be, infectious or contagious, I guess, a little bit before that. Obviously, we were testing 3 days in between at that time, right? So we didn't know. I had a previous negative test on the Thursday before, and then tested positive on Sundays. So the NHL protocol, and I know how I was on the NHLPA, called the other day too, and exactly, the way it was before. It's either, I believe, 10 days in isolation or quarantine, and then after that, you can test out. It is in the, I guess, the memo. You can test out before that. It doesn't happen, I guess, too often where a guy can test out, 4 or 5 days into isolation if he's asymptomatic. Usually, the positive test will show, but after being in it for 8 or 9 days, I was able to test out negative.
When you get the go ahead to skate, first of all, how do you feel working your way back today? And also, how excited were you just to get back, considering the isolation that you went through in the protocol?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think you got to be a little bit cautious working your way back, just, like any sort of, illness or sickness, I guess, with your immune system. Just, you don't want to push it too hard the first couple of days. So, you got to get your rest when you can and kind of gradually work your way in. I was able to do a little stuff at home when I was there, isolating. And then, I thought I was coming back to play maybe a couple of games before Christmas. So you're trying to push it a little bit. And obviously now we got a little bit of time here where you can kind of gradually work your way and build your way up a little bit. But, it's just, getting the conditioning back, like, after being on pause there for a week and a half or whatever it was. So it takes a little while to get your lungs back into it, your legs and your hands, and just kind of get that feel. And like I said, timing wise, I guess it worked out in a sense where I got a few extra days here that we didn't anticipate. And there's no question being excited to come to the rink again and happier on the guys. Obviously, no one likes being, isolated by themselves, and just kind of relying on people through and communication through text and phone calls. It's always nice to see people in person, and, pumped and happy to be back with the guys today.
Next up, Ian McIntyre, Sportsnet.
Hey, Luke, good to see you. for my first question, it's just a couple of quick points, and then I'll have one follow-up. But did you previously have COVID, and did anybody tell you what strain of it you had this time?
Yep. No, I've never had COVID, which is, I was able to avoid it in Florida, which is everyone had it when we were down there. So somehow I avoided it there and got it here. I mean, it's, I was kind of laughing at that one with my wife. Majority or a lot of people are vaccinated here, and you end up getting it here. So, and the other question was
just the strain.
Oh yeah. The Omicron, is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. Okay. I was told I had that strain. Yeah.
Okay. And then when you see what's happening around the league, and you were on the PA call, so you'd be pretty informed. Do you feel lucky? Do you think this organization is ahead of most with the level of outbreak that's occurred here and how it's been handled and contained?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know in terms of other organizations and how they're dealing with everything. I mean, obviously I can speak to the way, things are handled, in the last year and a half in Tampa, and it's first class there, the doctors, the trainers, the medical staff, unbelievable. And, everyone puts the health and safety of players and their families first. And I think this organization's, done a great job as well. Obviously, sometimes you have an outbreak, and sometimes it's really uncontrollable, no matter what the procedures or precautions are. Sometimes it just happens. And, obviously when you got a couple guys testing, there is more things, like I said, restrictions you can kind of implement, and more testing, obviously, which we've gone to, and masks, and, being apart from each other in the dressing room, and, all that sort of stuff. Obviously the restrictions have kind of gotten a little stronger here in the past week, based on the amount of cases there is lately, but I can't speak on any other organizations besides the one I was in last year, and that was first class, and, they did it right there as well.
We'll move to Ben Kuzma, Post Media.
Just one from me, Luke, about stepping on the ice today. You hear a lot about guys coming off protocol, and maybe you see them if you're fortunate enough in a practice, but what was it actually like today? I mean, I imagine getting your wind was probably one. I don't know if you had any muscle soreness or whatever. What were you expecting when you stepped on the ice, and what was the reality today?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what I expected. I mean, anytime, it'd be, if you had like I said, a flu or winter cold, and you missed probably a week of work and coming back, it's always the first couple of days. It's a little bit of excitement to get back. And as far as body wise and having your lungs and everything like that, I was able to, I got a Peloton at home, so I was able to kind of work my way back a little bit there and just kind of get moving a little bit the last few days. And the first day getting on the ice, obviously tough practice to jump into. We had 5 defensemen today, obviously a few guys still in the protocol, and so it was a tough one that way. And obviously Bruce had the guys kind of, skating up and down the ice, and came up to me at the start of practice asking how I was doing, and said, well, that's probably a bit of a challenge and tough one to jump into, not skating in, like I said, a week and a half, just based on wanting to get all the guys' legs going, them having a few days off as well. So, probably the first 20, 30 minutes, it was a bit of a grind, like it would be any other time coming off a week off or a week and a bit, but felt better as I went. And the lungs and everything like that, like I said, I wasn't in a situation where I was very stressed about, lungs and breathing and all that. It was, like I said, a flu or a cold, and, able to work my way back. And you do it slowly, and eventually kind of, you get your immune system going and your nervous system going, and you're able to work your way back up to where you were.
How much better do you think, Luke, you guys can be implementing maybe some new systems here and getting guys back to sustain the momentum that you guys had with the incredible run before being shut down? Do you think you can be even a better club when you come back with better systems, maybe more in sync, and then having a complete roster?
Yeah, that's the goal. Obviously, the first week and a bit, guys have been playing well, and probably playing with a bit of adrenaline and some new energy and excitement. And now kind of got a bit of time here to hit the pause button, obviously, and work on some things. And I think if you approach practice the right way and not come here just thinking you're punching the clock and just putting in time, and actually trying to get better and work on some new, like you said, systems and some new things that obviously a new coaching staff is bringing in, then it's a positive. Obviously, we're in a different situation than a lot of other teams where we've had some turnover and some change, and we're not here to go through the motions. And like I said, just try to get through it to the 27th. I think we're here to work on some things and keep the conditioning up. And the goal for sure would be coming to this and, become a stronger team.
And we'll take a final question from Brianna Himmelwright, CBC.
Thank you. Hello, Luke. How does it feel to be back practicing with the Canucks after recovering?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, like I said, it's you never want to be away from the team for that long for any injury or illness. And, I kind of have to deal with it. Like I said, probably a month and a half ago from a knee injury. And, it's kind of the same emotion when you work your way back from being around the guys or being away from the guys for a little while. So obviously, it's nice to get back on the ice with the guys. It's nice to, get out of your house and be back in the same environment and facility with the guys. Obviously, like I said, different restrictions and protocols where you're not as close with the guys and probably hanging out like you used to, but at the same time, we're all on the ice together and, being able to do what we love and just hopefully, everyone can remain healthy and, go into this Christmas break and on a bit of a high note and come on a bit rolling from there.
Thank you so much, Luke, and thank you all for joining.